Have you ever seriously thought about what a totally new world government would even look like? Well, today we're going to dive into a really detailed blueprint for one such vision. We're going to unpack its structure, its core rules, and the justification behind it, all based on the source documents. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you see is this pyramid. And let me tell you, it's not just some cool logo. This is actually a detailed org chart for a proposed global government. So what do all these levels and all these labels actually mean? Let's decode this thing together. And that really brings us to the central question here, doesn't it? What is the blueprint for this proposed new world order? Well, the answer starts at the very, very top of that pyramid. At the absolute peak of this whole structure, all power is concentrated into a single figure, who's described as the divine ruler of this new kingdom. And the documents give us a name for this leader, Lord Rael. He's identified simply as the Messianic King. So in this framework, all authority flows directly from him all the way down. And this quote kind of gets to the heart of the stated philosophy. According to the mandate, the kingdom is supposed to be ruled with truth, love, clarity, and respect, all under a system of fair and just laws. So, truth, love, and justice. That sounds pretty good, right? But how does a philosophy like that actually translate into rules for everyday life? Well, the mandate lays out some very specific directives for how society would be organized. And the mandates here are incredibly specific. On one hand, they call for eliminating waste and sharing resources wisely. But on the other hand, they specify direct control over reproduction and population growth, and even mandate a single global language, English. So we're not talking about minor tweaks here. This represents a complete re-engineering of society as we know it. So you have to ask, right? Who would enforce all these fundamental changes? To understand that, we need to go back to the pyramid and decode the government's dual structure. So if you look at the chart again, you can see it's split right down the middle. On the left side, we've got the commandery, and on the right, you have leadership. These are presented as two parallel branches of the same government, designed to work together. This table really clarifies that dual hierarchy. You can see just how each level has two corresponding departments. So the Ecumenical Order of Christ, for example, lines up with religion and education. The Knights of Lord Rael aligns with military and police. And look at this. Godcoin, which you have to assume is some kind of digital currency, corresponds with finance and business. It's actually a surprisingly comprehensive structure, covering pretty much every aspect of a modern state. This all leads to a really crucial question. What's the justification for such a radical vision? Where does the authority to create this new world order even come from? Well, the documents point to a very specific source: religious prophecy. That's right. According to the documents, the legitimacy for this entire governmental plan is rooted in prophecy, specifically an interpretation of a passage from the biblical book of Isaiah. And this is the specific passage from Isaiah that's cited in the mandate. It describes a prophesied child whose government will bring unending peace and justice. This text is presented as the ultimate foundation for both Christ's new kingdom and the authority of its leader. So we've just walked through one incredibly detailed blueprint for the future. And it leaves us with a bigger question to think about, Whether it's a political manifesto or a religious prophecy, how do these powerful visions of what the world could be end up shaping the actions people take in the world we have today?